All right, today we are diving deep into a story that is just, well, a masterclass in theft and deception. It's a tale where the lies are sharper than any dagger and the con artists are the most charming you'll ever meet. So get ready, because we're about to dissect the anatomy of a perfect con and meet the one and only Gentleman Bastards.
And there he is. That's our guy, Locke Lamora. You gotta love the charm, right? This is a man whose mind is his deadliest weapon. And honestly, his nerve is just off the charts. And that dear old family he's talking about? Well, let's just say they're a crew of the most brilliant con artists you've ever seen. And yeah, they are his entire world.
Okay, so picture this, the island city of Camorr. It's this gorgeous but deadly place literally built on the glowing glass ruins of some ancient, forgotten civilization. The criminal underworld here, it runs on a very, very strict code. And our crew, the Gentleman Bastards, who are, no exaggeration, the smartest and boldest thieves around, they're about to shatter every single one of those rules.
So let's jump right into their most elaborate game yet. The best part? We're dropping in right in the middle of it. The gears are already turning on their latest masterpiece.
So, who are the players in this grand scheme? Well, the target, or the mark, is Don Salvara. We're talking seriously powerful, seriously rich nobility. The bait is this incredibly rare, almost mythical brandy. And Locke? He's playing the part of Lucas von Wright, a merchant with an offer that Don just can't refuse. Of course, the whole crew, the Gentleman Bastards, are all working behind the scenes, making sure every detail is perfect.
Now, this is where it gets brilliant. This isn't a smash and grab. Oh no, this is pure theater. They stage an attack on Locke's character, Fairwhite, making sure Don Salvara is in the perfect position to come to the rescue. See what they did there? They don't ask for the Don's trust. They create a whole scenario where he offers it, making him feel like the hero. And that little emotional hook is the key that's going to unlock his entire fortune.
So you might be thinking, okay, it's a clever con, but what makes it so incredibly dangerous? Well, to get that, we have to talk about the one unbreakable rule of Camorr's underworld, the secret peace.
Here's the deal in Camorr. The big boss of all crime, a guy named Kappa Barsavi, has this one single law. You can steal from merchants, you can rob sailors, you can pretty much target anyone, but you do not touch the nobles ever. This secret peace keeps the Duke's guards from coming down on everyone like a ton of bricks. It's a fragile but crucial balance.
And let's be crystal clear about the punishment for breaking this rule. It's not a slap on the wrist. It's not jail time. It is death. A very messy, very public death. No appeals, no exceptions. So what Locke and his friends are doing, it's literally the worst possible crime they could commit in their world. They're spitting in the face of the most powerful man in the underworld.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? Why on earth are they doing this? Why target a noble when they know it's a death sentence? Is it just pure arrogance? Are they that desperate for cash? Or is there a much bigger game being played here? One that nobody sees coming?
Just when you thought things couldn't get more complicated, a ghost appears in the shadows. Yeah, as if risking death by conning a noble wasn't enough, a brand new threat emerges. And this one plays by no rules at all.
He's known only as the Grey King, and he starts taking out Kappa Barsavi's top people one by one. These are the most dangerous men in the city, and they're being picked off like it's nothing. There are never any witnesses, never any real clues, just a body and the name Grey King whispered on the streets.
And look how fast this happens. Week 1, a top enforcer goes down. Week 2, 2 more captains. By week 3, Barsavi's inner circle is basically gone. The entire criminal empire, which was stable for decades, is now in total chaos. The man who seemed untouchable is suddenly watching his world burn down around him. So, with his back against the wall, who does Kappa Barsavi turn to? Not his muscle, not his killers, no, he summons Locke. He thinks Locke is cautious, clever, and can figure this out. The irony here is just, wow. Barsavi has absolutely no clue that the man he's hiring to solve his problem is the same man who's breaking his #1 rule. So now Locke is stuck, right in the middle of a war he wants no part of.
So how did Locke Lamora become this guy? The guy bold enough to rob a noble, but also smart enough to be a crime lord's last hope. To get that, we need to go back. We need to look at the making of a bastard.
Locke's life was really shaped by two completely different father figures. First, there was the thief maker,
A guy who, well, basically treated orphan kids like disposable tools for petty crime. But Locke was too good, too much trouble. So he gets sold to a blind priest named Father Chains. And Chains, he's a game changer. He doesn't teach thievery. He teaches artistry. He teaches deception. And most important of all, he doesn't rule by fear. He builds a family, the Gentleman Bastards, based on trust and brains.
And this right here, this quote from Father Chains is the absolute core of who they are. We are actors. That's it. That's the secret. Their greatest skill isn't picking a pocket or cracking a safe. It's becoming someone else so completely that you never even question it. They're not just crooks, they're performers.
Which brings us right back to the present, where the game turns very, very real. Locke is basically spinning two plates here. On one hand, he's running this insanely risky con on Don Salvara. On the other, he's supposed to be hunting the Grey King for Barsavi. And those two plates are about to come crashing down.
And then, boom, the floor just completely vanishes from under Locke's feet. The Grey King finds him. And it turns out this mysterious killer, he's been watching the whole time. He knows about Lucas Fairweight, he knows about the brandy, he knows everything about the Salvaria con. All of a sudden, the master manipulator, Locke Lamora, realizes he's been the puppet all along.
So what if the con against Salvara was never the real game? That whole high-stakes masterpiece, the thing that Locke was risking his life for? Turns out, it was just a distraction. A minor piece in a much bigger, much more brutal plan that the Grey King has been running from the start.
The Grey King's actual plan is just diabolical. He uses his knowledge of the Salvara Khan to blackmail Locke. And what does he want? He forces Locke to do the impossible, to walk into a meeting with Kappa Barse and pretend to be the Grey King. Think about that. He's sending Locke on a suicide mission, a perfect distraction, so the real Grey King can make his final move and take control of everything. And just like that, everything flips. Locke Lamora, the thief who lived for the score, is suddenly out of his depth. All his plans, all his clever tricks, they're worthless. He's no longer trying to steal a fortune. Now he's got to figure out how to save his own skin, protect his family, and maybe, just maybe, save the entire city. The thief has to become the hero.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Locke has lost everything. His money, his plans, his sense of control. All he has left is his talent for deception. So the question becomes, in a city that's built on a foundation of lies, can the best liar of them all somehow use his gift to find the one thing that can save everyone, the truth?